Roll call.
Angie Rowling.
Carl Stillmeyer. Mike Gardner.
Amy Percy.
We all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. So this agenda is gonna get blown out of the water. First time we've ever done this, but we're gonna remove some items and we're gonna add an executive. We're gonna remove number 10, 12, 17. We're gonna add PV1 upgrade, AP to the warrants. And we're gonna add an executive for emergency services legal. And we're going to add that, after 19, after public comment. So that brings me to public comment, approval of minutes, warrants, correspondence, updates from town officials, emergency services funding discussion, November meeting scheduled due to holiday conflict, updated capital asset policy approval, Oak Hill Cemetery survey estimate, town offices cleaning discussion and possible action, transfer station discussion and possible action, public comment, executive for legal with emergency services, executive for personnel, and adjourn.
So moved with the changes.
Second.
Sorry to make some notes. Any discussion? All those in favor of the agenda?
Aye.
With the changes. Thank you. Public comment?
Yes, I was going to be speaking with Jeannie Alexander, who isn't quite here yet. I believe she's on her way. She asked me to come down and speak very briefly on.
Could you state your name, please?
Michael Fernandez. I'm with the Bennington County Conservation District, town of Pownal. I've been longtime supporters of the district. So first of all, thank you for that. Not all of our towns choose to support the district, and we do a lot of farmers in the community. Largely, I was asked to come down to address some of the issues you all are facing with wildland fire, and some potential preventive solutions, namely, and Jeannie, throw in at any point since you asked me to be here, having some kind of warning system similar to the way things are done over in New York and where I was from out in Oregon, letting people know in a non-digital format that there is a burn ban. It's my understanding that you all had a pretty significant fire starting yesterday and moving into today. That is a pattern that at the Conservation District we are expecting to see more and more of over the coming decades as climate change really starts to set in. We all remember last year before as well, the terrible fires that were had in Quebec. We've also been seeing more and more fires in New England. Currently, I believe there are 76 active fires just in Vermont, with the average being much, much lower than that, more in the 60s. So the district is here to help kind of formulate these kinds of solutions. We're happy to work with your Conservation Commission or directly with the Select Board to come up with recommendations on how you all can let the public know when a burn ban is in effect. There's a lot of folks in this area either have limited techno savvy or just don't use applications or online portals to be able to get that information. Jeannie, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, just announce your name, Jeannie. We know who you are, but.
Yeah, Jeannie Alexander, resident of Pownal. And I just be very, I'm not, actually, I have a conservation commission upstairs, resident here, and also as a supervisor for the conservation district. Yeah, honestly, I think this is pretty straightforward. I've lived in places before where we had a super easy system to like announce to residents that we were under like a fire watch. And that was basically 2 or 3 flag poles in like the high traffic areas of town. And when everything is good, you're just like flying a green flag, no problem. But if a red flag went up, it was a super easy way to communicate to people we're under a red flag warning, don't burn outside. It's just like really easy, because I've been having a lot of conversations with folks who are like, are we still under the ban? Like, you know, and not everybody's gonna use their phone app. I'm like, not everybody wants to invest with that, and I get it. But I just thought it would be really easy. Like, you don't have to change the flags all the time. It's always green, everything is cool. But if it's not, then we can figure out. And I'm happy to be one of those people, whatever it takes to like raise a red flag. You just leave it up until we're out of that flag. That was my suggestion.
Anybody here have any questions?
No, it's a great idea.
I got a couple, but that's, Jamie? So we're pretty fortunate tonight to have, fire department sitting next to you, one of our departments, represented here tonight. So I'm gonna jump off a little bit of our normal, because I think this is pretty important, especially right now, because I totally agree that there's the warning system is probably not the greatest. So I'm gonna kind of put you guys on the spot just to hear, what's your opinion on it, Jason?
The fire we had yesterday and today was ruled accidental. Okay, along with several others in the state just recently, very similar situations. There are some investigators and the state fire prevention guys all came down today, and we had 3 or 4 come down. And they all reiterated the same thing, the ground is so dry right now. And those other spot fires that we had down there, those are all simple embers. So they're basically saying the same thing. We need to prepare, maybe do some education, but we need to prepare for these conditions because they're expected to get
So
worse.
it sounds to me like what the conservation district and what Jeannie's proposing is a pretty simple way to communicate. You know, we have, 2 main roads, right? 346 and Route 7, North Pownal Road and Barbers Pond Road, right? So we have basically 4 general roads to put some flags on, green flag, red flag, whatever type of thing. I think it's a pretty simple thing. I guess my question is, who would we commission to do this?
So I can fill in just a little bit more. So
That's fine.
the fire departments now all have we have a way to, every day we get an update. So we're all advised every day of what the conditions are. That comes from the state, but our fire warden is not here yet. He'll be here in a few minutes. So but he's responsible for that, for letting us all know and other agencies. But there's continual updates, throughout the day from the state, usually every morning, and then another one usually in the afternoon, especially right now. But so we have a plan in place for the firemen, but not for anybody else. We are seeing people that don't know, that are burning and don't know that there's no burning.
I came home from Mass the other night and there was a pretty good
And legitimately,
fire going. They had a backyard bonfire going, down near Stewart's, and there's a lot of people around it, but still, it's like that's probably wasn't a good thing to be doing.
so it brings me to another point that legally, you have the right to burn, whether there's a burn ban or not, as long as it's in a fireplace situation, or you can say you're cooking or whatever.
As long as it's covered or contained area.
Not contained.
No, what I'm saying is in a pot, in a pit with a cover over it.
Not a cover. You're in a fireplace or a.
Oh, I thought in Bennington, they told me they had to have a,
So in other towns, we're seeing that they have 2 permits now. They have a fire permit and they have a campfire.
correct.
So again, we should probably be having this discussion with Craig. He will be here shortly.
Yeah, but I think it's probably,
We actually, do a little more planning for the conversation.
Yeah.
you're right. I think, but I don't want to let this die. Michael, just give me 1 minute. I definitely don't want to let this die because I think it's a great idea, to get the word out. And I think it's a fairly simple process to put some flags on some flagpoles. Justin, let me go to Michael first.
Look, in the longer term, as far as preparedness goes, you guys may be aware of this program already, but the Conservation District statewide manage what's called the Rural Fire Protection Program. It installs dry hydrants. I believe we can also put in fire protection ponds. I'd be happy to work with y'all, and we're having this discussion with other towns as well.
So I think we really need to move, like Tara said, we need to get Craig in here. We need to have a meeting specifically, I think, on this. And I think that's something we really need to work on.
And it also pertains to our other discussion, our other discussion that we've had. That would all also be incorporated into that also for the same reason.
Right.
Mike,
Hold on, Justin had something.
So just to piggyback off the flag system, another municipality very close by runs that same system on Route 7, same highway that comes through our town. And unfortunately, he has certain people that always look at it, and then others that it turns into a sign where they notice it for the first month or two, and then it's just out in no man's land. But for the people that aren't necessarily technical savvy or Facebook or social media per se,
Right.
those are the ones that are generally keeping the eye on it, that will be in the loop per se.
Carl?
shouldn't we have this as its own standalone?
Yes.
Not in public comment?
Yeah, and that's fine. I kind of sidestepped a little bit because, you know, some
Okay.
people came in.
Yep, that's fine.
And whatever,
Just-
you know, spent some time to come in. So I did deviate from our normal, but I would love to have Tara schedule a meeting. Probably wouldn't be till after budget season because we're gonna be kind of back in the budget a little bit. But I don't want to let it die. And I know you're not going to let it die, Jeannie. But I don't want to. I want to include Craig. I just want to, I think it's something that we really need to do. We just need to set a time to do it.
Wouldn't it be better if we encourage Jeannie to talk to Craig and the chiefs?
I'm happy to talk to anybody.
That,
And the whole reason actually that it came to my mind is my father is retired fireman,
yes,
like 30 years, and he doesn't use a cell phone or anything. And so I told him the other day that we were under a red flag warning. It was the first time he heard it after me.
Okay.
I kind of started thinking like, my dad doesn't know, but I'm happy to talk to anybody.
Well, I think sitting down as a board and with everybody together is fine. You know, I just think we got to schedule a time for it. And,
Mike, we're still in public comment. Is there anybody else wanting to talk?
yeah, I know we're still in public comment. So,
No, their hands are up.
Oh, okay.
yeah, perfect.
I did have a comment though that when we have one floor speakers, we should have them come to the table because it's hard to hear.
Okay. We will in the future, for sure. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
No more public comment. Approval of minutes of October 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Any corrections? All those in favor? Aye. Minutes of November 7th. Special select board meeting.
So moved.
Any corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Warrants, accounts payable November 1st, 19,498.62.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable November 8th, 24,328.74.
Second.
Any corrections, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable PV1 upgrade 11/7/24 84 87 98.
Second.
Any questions, corrections? All those in favor?
Aye.
You know, I don't have a total for November 15th. Right. I can move on. You have it right there?
Sorry about that.
That's okay. 11/15, accounts payable, $53,397.02.
So moved.
Put a motion and have a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll wave it, fine. Thanks, Ange. Payroll, November 1st, $11,886.34.
So moved.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
November 8th payroll, $10,777.81.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Payroll November 15th, $12,351.97.
So moved.
Second it.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, correspondence. Letter of interest from Seth Jenkins to join the Parks and Rec. Did everybody read that?
You want me to read it?
Yeah, I guess.
I am interested in volunteering with the Parks and Recreation Committee. I met with several of the members of the committee at the recent public forum for the Tannery property and feel that I have a contribution to make to the local community. I would be interested in presenting to the committee at an upcoming meeting and would request to be placed on an upcoming agenda. After speaking with Jen, we didn't think that was necessary because she knows him and would love to have him join the committee. But if you'd like to meet him, that of course, I can arrange that too.
I've got a question. Isn't the policy that we put it out and then,
It's been out. Parks and Rec has had open.
but I have not, right, well, how many are open for Parks and Rec?
I think Parks and Rec Committee is a committee we accept.
There's no set amount. How do we do a quorum if we don't have a set amount?
They're a committee, they don't have to have a
They
quorum.
don't
Right,
have. the
right, but
same-
if they don't vote on nothing.
No.
No,
No, it's a committee.
they don't have any jurisdiction over anything as far as voting.
That's why I didn't see anything in on the calendar, where we see it on the website, where it would say, we have vacant spots. The reason why we don't see vacant spots is we can put as many people as we want on that committee. So anybody can apply for that committee at any time.
Mhm.
Okay?
And everyone saw the recommendation from Jen,
Mhm.
from Parks and Rec.
Yep.
What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept.
His application.
What's
Second
his
it.
name?
Seth
Josh
Jenkins.
Jerkins, sorry.
Jenkins.
Jenkins, sorry. Can't remember
I
right.
have a motion to accept Seth Jenkins to the Parks and Rec Committee. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Updates from town officials.
Okay. Couple. First thing, that the town employees will all get $25 gift cards to Price Chopper for Thanksgiving from the town of Pownal. It's something that I did yesterday. And then I have one from Joel. His is longer than mine. So, hi all, I received 2 prices for salt this year. One is from Appalachia, who we purchased from last year, the same price as last year at $86.20. And the second one is from Eastern Salt Company for $77.65. They're both coming out of Pownal, New York, and both undercover. American Salt Co. said their pile was spoken for, and Morton and Cargill never got back at all. So my recommendation is to go with Eastern Salt Co. for $77.65 per ton, if it's okay with you. And I think you normally make a motion to
Yep.
accept Joel's recommendation.
What's your pleasure?
So moved for our home foreman's recommendation for Eastern.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We need to do a road erosion inventory update for the MRGP. I put in a grant for $9,456 and was granted the money to do the REI. It is an 80-20 grant, so the total cost of the project will be $11,820, with the town paying $2,364 for our share. The BCRC will do the work, $11,820. If it is okay with you, can Tara sign the memo of agreement with the BCRC? Which that's kind of under our continuum of care with BCRC anyways, but he just wanted sort of like your blessing for me to sign for that.
What's your pleasure?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
And then just for information, Milton Cat will do a mechanical report on our grader, oil samples, motor condition, and the general condition. The cost is $1,500 for the service. The machine has over 10,000 hours on it and has never been touched other than wear parts. We need to evaluate the condition of the unit to prepare for purchase of a new one. The grader is a 2006 model and coming up on 20 years old and should be replaced in 2026 according to our capital plan. As you know, the grader is an integral part of the road maintenance. We advertised for moving on, we advertised for a per diem snow person for the winter, and we only had one applicant for the position. Tristan Gardner applied, and Joel talked with him about the job. He would like him to do the plowing and keep the walks clear at the town office, the church, and the old town office.
Do we need a motion on that part of it to give Joel the approval?
I mean, might as well. Yeah.
I make the motion that we give Joel the approval to hire Tristan for the
Okay.
per diem.
Per diem plowing,
I'll
snow
second.
removal service.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain?
And Eddie said he has 4 puppies in the kennel, and, I think that was it for most of those updates.
Okay, we're skipping 10, or we removed 10. Emergency services funding discussion, decisions and policy approval. Everybody read that policy?
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions or comments on that policy?
No.
It was pretty
Pretty much what we discussed.
much what we discussed.
Yes.
Yeah, did you guys see that policy? And you're comfortable,
There's not enough here, right? Yeah.
and everyone's comfortable? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve that policy.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
We remove 12. November meeting schedule. Due to the holiday conflict.
So I am proposing that we move, it'll be a special. The November 28th meeting to the 21st. But then I'd also like to just schedule the December meetings now, because our second December regular meeting is on the 26th. And I know I'll probably take the rest of that week off, because I think I changed that one to the 19th. So we would have this week, and then the rebel from the first, and then we would have December 12th and the 19th. So back-to-back meetings each month, but we'll have specials and budgeting meetings, of course.
That was my question, is gonna be
But I need to get these done so I can
schedule everything else?
see what space we have.
I don't have a problem with those.
No,
What's your board's pleasure? Good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Updated capital asset policy approval 14.
This was a recommendation from our auditors. Our limits were a little low on some things, so we adjusted those to their recommendation, and you've all seen the policy, I think, at this point.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions on it?
No.
Everybody's comfortable with it? I'll entertain a motion to approve the capital asset policy as amended.
I'll make, me, yes, I make a motion that we, do that.
Second.
Sorry, I had a brain.
Any more discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oak Hill Cemetery survey estimate discussion and possible action.
Oh, boy.
So we've had some cemetery issues going on. We had it mapped, and we don't know where our actual boundary lines are, so I believe it should be surveyed. I've been working with a lot of Mance, and John Wright out of Mance Engineering, and he sort of went above and beyond for us for the forest right of way and the parking lot designs, and I've been a real kind of just bugging him all the time, and he's been really responsive. I'm going to stick with that company and have them complete the survey on Oak Hill, and he estimated between 3,000 and 6,000. Only because the timing is so unknown, or the amount of time, and the he said boundary survey work has too many unknowns, so that's why there's such a range in the price.
It will be done by May 1st, right?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like that's what they're anticipating.
Anticipating.
Yep, but I wouldn't hold them to that
Right.
goal.
Yeah.
But that's the anticipated finish date. That's right.
And that's
That's right.
famous, you know,
I just want everybody to know I'm being
Reasonable.
totally clear.
yes.
It may not be done by May 1st, but that's the anticipated completion date. Anybody have any questions on that?
And that would come out of the cemetery fund.
I'll entertain a motion.
I make the motion to approve
I'll second that.
that, move forward and take it out of the fund.
So I have a motion on the floor to approve the survey estimate and discussion, or the survey estimate for the cemetery, Oak Hill Cemetery. And I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Town offices cleaning discussion and possible action.
Oh, this can be really quick. I actually only got one estimate. And given the cost, I think it'd be more beneficial to see if I can advertise for a part-time cleaner and see what we get for options.
I think that would be very wise.
Instead of a contract cleaner, so.
There's a couple in town that you could possibly even reach out to and
Yeah.
ask if they'd like to bid.
So, I'm just looking for the board's blessing to advertise for a part-time cleaner and see what we get for.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Oh, Tom, transfer station discussion and possible action.
All right, well, what your packet has there in front of you, I'm looking at the compactors. We were down, Justin was kind enough to host us down there and so forth. But, now we were looking at different machines, and there's a lot of different, you say, pressures, you know, and so forth on them. There's really some high volume, you know, machines. They're more for some place, not like us, you know, really. But the Harmony company, I only got two prices. I didn't get anything from Waste yet, because Bill Moran, did you ever talk to Bill? Bill Moran was on vacation. He just got back, so I don't know if we can still get a quote from him. But Harmony, they sent us the prices on this C300, and this thing has a pretty good, you know, it's got a 56,548 pounds push at 2,000 PSI. So I think that's really not it seems to me when I was looking at all the other ones were just way out of line. They were way too expensive, the other company. And, I mean, they had, the one was just crazy expensive, I thought. But this one comes in as 14 horsepower, but we have to get a rotary, 3-phase converter for it, because they said in their warranty there that you had the variable frequency, they wouldn't warrant the motors. So, and I think we need the warrants, and so it still comes in way less than what the other one brought. There's two of them is $64,290. You know, and it's really not bad. And actually, we could cut that back, because Joel and I were talking today when we were over there trying to site these things out, that we could use the loader for the fork trucks to get them off. So there's $1,200 right there we can take off, you know, on the fork trucks. I mean, we got the loader for the fork, just makes sense, you know. So we can actually save a little bit on that, you know, the overall on this thing. And this thing, you know, it's really a pretty good unit. I mean, it's got some of them, the size of the Rams and so forth are different. This one has where's the Ram here? Well, it's a larger unit. So here. It's 3 cubic yard you put in there one time. I read something, I think the Ram's either a 6 or 7 inch. Yeah, it's just, Ram face.
Yeah, that's what it says.
It's a 6 inch.
6 inch. Yeah, I know it's here someplace on this thing.
6-inch with a 72-inch stroke, and the 200 is a 5-inch with a 54-inch stroke.
Yeah.
Reinforces, the reinforce isn't that much difference. It's 50,000 pounds on the 200 and 56,000 pounds, 56.5 on the,
Yeah, right.
on the smaller one, it's at 1,800 versus 2,000 pounds.
Yep.
Cycle time is 35 seconds, and I don't see the cycle time on the other one.
Well, that's because it's got longer bars.
You know, I don't see the cycle time on the other one.
Yeah, I mean, the cycle, because it's a longer
Right.
stroke on it.
Right.
Two cylinders in it.
Yeah. But, that one looks pretty promising, and the thing of it is, it's a turnkey. They come in, they install it, we have to have the wiring, to do the electrical. But they'll come in and install it, and then they'll train us on it and everything else, and that's all included. I don't know if it didn't have anything for the training and stuff like this. You know, none of the stuff with,
Will one inverter handle both machines? Or do we have to have
one
separate?
at a time. What I would do, we'd have a disconnect for each machine.
Right.
And the way you turn the, I'd have a disconnect for the converter to it. We don't need to run all the time anyhow. Just whenever we're going to use it, we just throw a disconnect, and that could be even in the building or just the breaker for that matter. But of course, breakers aren't meant to be switches. A disconnect would be a lot better. Probably about a 60 amp from everything I've read on them. Be about 60 amp, and we'd be taking, and we could handle that with the panel we have in the unit there, in the hut. Because we want to site them out where we can see them right there. We don't want to have to move the hut or anything like that, because then we're back up to, expensive. But they're all.
Question I have on the rotary converter, does that have to be housed inside?
I got it.
That can sit outside in the weather.
That's what I haven't, that's the way they price it. One line, you just.
Right, but it's electronics. My concern would be having that out in the elements. That's why I asked.
No, it's.
They are
It's a
spec for,
It's spec for outdoor, yep. Yep, I did that, and, we put it out there someplace where we could actually, we even could have a disconnect out there for that outside even. You just throw that and then throw the one that you want to use on, and then just go. It hit both of them, but you can only use one time.
Right.
You put the key in, hit the thing. And
what's the warranty on that? The warranty?
The warranty's in there.
I understand, I'm asking you.
It's 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And is that their tech doing the warranty work? Or is that just a reimbursement?
They'll send a tech, they have techs around the country.
Okay, where are they,
It's $70 an hour. Yeah.
and where are they out of?
Well, the thing's manufactured in Minnesota, but they have people all over the country.
I just was concerned that if their tech is in South Carolina,
No.
I'm asking.
Yeah, no, they have people.
Can you find out where their people are?
No, I could do that, yeah, I can find it.
Okay.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about when somebody has to come because there's a problem.
Right.
We don't need to wait 4 weeks because the tech isn't in the area. And I understand they're not gonna be in they're gonna be in Albany. But I also don't wanna have that they hired a tech from South Carolina and they say they have a tech. But we have to wait for him to get up there to do the warranty work.
Well, we can, I'll check on all that, see where the techs would keep from.
Well, I think there's a couple other things too that we need to do here, right?
There's a lot to these things, actually.
I think we need to do,
How much money is this actually gonna save us?
So we'll
so,
pay for it in 3 years.
so I think there's a couple of things that we need to discuss here. Carl, and you jump in because you've been doing some of this.
Yep.
Some about some of the math here, where I just been doing it in my head, you've been working on it
Okay.
more than me. First, I think we need to do a little more research on units. Right, because we only have there's only one unit here.
But there's 4 there, but that's just.
Well, yeah, but it's one company.
He's saying,
No, he's-
right, but you've got 2 companies
Well, yeah, so the one is totally outrageous.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
I'd like
so-
to get the one from Waco, these guys were New Hampshire.
That's what I'm saying, Tom.
And I'll give Bill a call tomorrow.
Right,
And, because he said he wants to come over and he'll bring an electrician with him. You know, to look at. And, the quote he had down there was, about 30,000 for a new one and so forth. But, yeah, I'm just not want to risk, I really don't want to risk getting a used one right now, rebuilt, because
I don't have a problem with buying a refurbished one.
I don't.
To be perfectly honest with you, I have zero problems with buying a refurbished one that comes with a warranty.
Right.
If it didn't come with a warranty, I'd have a huge problem. But if it comes with a warranty, then for what we're doing, I also have a problem with going with the bigger one, sitting here, doing some quick comparisons here. That one for one unit is 18,900, so say 19,000, right? And the other unit is 27,500 or whatever it was. For the unit, for what it does, 2-yard versus 3-yard, that's basically the only difference between the two units, is 1 cubic yard capacity in the hopper. The rest of the machine is all the same steel. It's basically the same everything, according to their specs that I just went through, right? It's, everything is, it's a little smaller opening, yes, so be it. But for 19,000 versus 27,000, for the sake of $8,000, and we're buying two, that's 16, that's a lot of money. To me, it's a lot of money.
For 2 yards,
For 2 yards.
for 2 yards.
Right, that's all you're gaining. You're gaining a 2-yard hopper versus a 3-yard hopper.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And you're running a 15 horse motor on one versus a 10 on the other. But the construction is identical.
Right.
Steel, they usually got identical steel, 1/2 inch here and 1/4 inch and whatever that,
Right.
it's all in the specs. I get that. But I think that we need to price out some refurbished units for what we're doing. We're not in the rubbish business. We're in the try to save money business, and saving money is, I'm gonna let Carl jump in here because it's all where we're gonna save. The money is in the hauling.
Is it
Carl's
the
done,
hauling?
Carl's done some math on this.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, right. But as Mike said, if we're going to, regardless of whatever that unit is, if it's warranted, it doesn't matter. Because if you've got a refurbished one that has a 3-year warranty, well, if it breaks down in 3 years, it's gonna be serviced. And it will be, it will be refurbished. And we're not buying a used one, we're buying a refurbished where it's gonna go back into factory. And if there's leaks, they'll be fixed before we end up with it.
Worn out parts.
Worn out parts,
I would also think that one of the things that I thought was fairly important here, and I don't know if they even offer it. I would assume they do because it's pretty much with everything. I'd like to see an extended service contract, what the cost of that is above and beyond the 3-year warranty, right? Because this isn't something that you're gonna replace every 3 or 5 years or whatever, hopefully you have it's a long service life. So I would wanna see, it's a fairly large investment. I'd wanna see what a service contract or an extended warranty, I guess, would be all the way around. So we do that with Joel, with the loader or whatever we purchase, So, so I'd like to see an extended warranty cost on each unit. I think that for the cost difference here, no, I'm not saying that maybe it's different with another company, right, with Waste Clip or whatever. Maybe a 3-yard, maybe the price difference is a little closer versus 3 versus 2. For the sake of $8,000, I think it's, for what we're doing, we don't have big haulers coming in and dumping in a whole bunch of stuff all at once. We have household for the most, right?
Yeah,
Coming in, so.
we don't have a lot of people coming in with really big load.
That's what I mean.
Very, very rarely.
So,
And if they do, you go out there, you push the button, you pack it, and they finish putting it in.
so they have to wait.
They'll have to wait.
Right. So they have to wait a couple of minutes.
Yeah, hey,
No, but what I'm saying is in reality, unless it's within a few $1,000s, there's no sense of going with the 3-yard over 2. If you can make a case for it, you make the case.
it's a little bigger ram and stuff, I thought it's 15 horse compared to a 10. And, it might be easier on the hydraulics and so forth. You just,
Well, I think that's,
that,
right, the hydraulics are built. They're engineered for what,
basically the same thing, but
they're engineered for the same, Well, one of the things that concerns me is they're building a 2-yard compactor out of a certain size steel, and then they're building the 3-yard compactor that has more force and everything out of the same steel. That's, so, it seems to me like, so they either overbuilt the smaller one,
Well, they underbuilt.
or they underbuilt the bigger one. Right?
yeah.
You see where I'm going with that? They've done one of two things, overbuilt one or underbuilt the other. So that in itself made me a little bit nervous.
The one is a shorter one, actually.
Yeah, the 2-yard is a shorter one.
It's a it has to be a short base, I think it's
Right.
what that's for. So that'll make it a little easier. Won't have to take as much of the bank out and stuff.
Right.
The next thing I was gonna do is get into the siting and so forth. But, we
Let's-
didn't have to take as much, you gotta take a little bit of bank out so we make sure. that
All right,
we get it.
but the plan, should the plan be, you want bids from 3 separate manufacturers, or, I don't think manufacturers is the proper word. Well,
Companies.
companies.
You wanna go look, I'm looking for,
Well, we can do RFPs. We can do RFPs, right? Request for a proposal.
Yep.
We definitely, in my opinion, should be looking into some refurbish units
I don't have a
for
problem.
what we're doing. Okay, and what we're trying to do. I'm not saying if it's close that we don't buy a new one, right? Cause but we definitely should be looking into some refurb units that are, whatever's available. Maybe we can get a 3-yard refurb unit, the bigger one, for 15,000 versus 27 for the new one. You see where I'm going with that, Tom?
the one of the 10 horsepower on it, that is a significantly shorter. So I mean, it has some good features that way too.
Yeah, there's advantages, right?
It is
There's disadvantages and
more
advantages.
compact,
Right.
and it'll give people more room to get around and so forth, what we want to do with it.
So I think we need to,
You wanna do an RFP on it?
I think we should,
What that?
I think he can get more options by
Yeah.
doing what he's doing.
right, just getting some prices out there, but I think we should look into refurbed. I think we should definitely wait for Waste Quip. They're in New Hampshire. They're right here. I didn't even look, where's Harmony out of? Oh, Michigan, you said, or something, right?
The Seabright's out of Michigan, or out of, Minnesota.
Where's Harmony out of?
Harmony's out of Minnesota, Seabright's out of, Waste Whip's all over.
Okay, so,
I'm not sure where they're manufacturing.
whatever, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, with Waste Quip right here in New Hampshire,
Well, I think most of these companies are spread out. Now, the salesman on Seabright I talked to, he went back to Michigan. He tried to
you
find.
should have with the price he has.
No. And then he's got all New England,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, New
Well,
Jersey, New
with
York.
the prices he's got there, you can go pretty much wherever you want.
Yeah,
Kind of outrageous, but that's okay.
his prices are a little high.
So I think we're good. I think we're good with talking about the compactors. We need to, you keep doing what you're doing, get a couple more prices, get some refurb units, see what's out there, see what's available. And then we can move forward with that. So, which brings us to the site, right?
It's the siding here. What it is, you look at this little thing here. Over here's the oil shed that we have, and then we have the book bin, the propane bins, and the 2 clothing bins. And the shrapnel sets over here. That would go down inside. Along with the one outside of this, the upper outside construction, that would go inside. We put those two in. leave a spare end for the, on the number one. You know, where the overhead door is. We still have an indoor construction, outdoor construction, and the shrapnel would be all under the roof.
So,
So that'd be filling up the building pretty much.
so here's my thoughts, right? Our construction debris that's gonna contain sheetrock and insulation and water, I'm gonna use
Right.
water soakers, right? Things that are gonna absorb water, but never gonna
That's all
release it.
inside.
Right.
That should go inside.
It's all that had been. It's always been that way.
Right. Well, we have some that are outside. I've dumped in the outside one on the side.
Should've.
Well, you sent me there.
Well,
So-
had sheet rock on it, so.
Well, you sent me the one that was outdoors that had whatever, but that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Because whatever we, so there again, the only place that we're gonna save any money is on our hauling. So when we're hauling water at 8 pounds a gallon,
Stand that.
right?
That's why we want to get as much stuff.
That's why we need to get everything under cover.
Yeah, but I want to leave one outside, especially in the summer, because people have dump trucks and they gotta dump.
Too bad.
My
And
sucks.
throw 'em on.
It's too bad. They gotta drag it out. We have to save money. We're not in the convenience business. Right? We're not. I got a dump trailer that I can't dump without pulling stuff out in there. I had to do it. We're not in the convenience business. We're in the business and that's what it is. And look at this, just my opinion. If somebody comes in with a big dump truck, get up in there and throw it out.
Or go to Bennington.
Or go to Bennington and dump. We're in the business here to try to make, to try to get away from $86,000 in the red. And that's where we're going. We're going $80,000 in the hole. And it's gone every year. That's my point. We gotta stop doing that. And if we got 5 dump truck guys that come in and dump for the sake of a convenience, go to Bennington or dig it out.
All right.
I hate to be blunt like that, Tom, but the simple fact of the matter is, we have to start making this transfer station get more in balance, and this is one way to do it. Kyle, you know, when we're paying 200, I'm gonna use round numbers, right? We're paying $200 for Casella to back up to our dumpster now, just to haul it away. Well, round numbers, right? They're backing up for $200. Whether they're taking out 500 pounds or 50,000 pounds, it's $200. So when we take out,
1 ton on a pole.
it's crazy. That's killing
When it
us.
costs us $30 to get rid of that 1 ton. Okay, so you're paying $30 to get rid of that ton. And then on top of that, you have to pay $212 to transport that 1 ton to wherever they're transporting it to.
Well, so these are gonna be put on a cement pad. And the site is gonna be up near the shed that you have now,
Right.
right?
And then Joe and I were measuring that today, and we kind of staggered them a little bit. That way, I can see exactly what they're putting in them. You know, from the office, look straight up there, and I can see the books, I can see the oil shed and everything. So basically, it's all gonna be really visible, plus I have a camera going up there. You know, there's a camera up there now, it's going up that way.
Right, so what size pads are you talking about for these?
Well, this is probably, all we really need is probably about a 25 by 40, but we're gonna go a little bit larger because we go from the existing asphalt down to the road. So, I mean, no sense in just leaving a little bit of gravel in there, seriously. You know, I mean, we could do that and they could have put
Hold on, Carl.
asphalt in. But I think that, you know, when we're doing it, so I figure it's 30 yards of concrete, 80 sticks of, number 4 rebar. And, Joel said, well, he's got a power screed. He said, well, we could put it down, cause all it is you gotta put her down, float it, burn it, you know, and then seal it. I want to seal it. You know, done a lot of those over the years. You know,
I got
a lot bigger than that, it's tight.
Go ahead, Carl.
I got a question, exactly. And, is any of that where we're doing any digging in the landfill area?
No, I mean, dig in landfill area.
Well, I understand that, but where is the landfill area? I mean, if my memory serves me correct, I gotta go over there and look. Because I was there when Stefan transitioned from the old landfill to the new landfill. Okay, and I just wanna make sure that we don't make a problem, if you know what I mean.
Right, right. Well, that looks like it's still the natural grade going down through there. I mean, that part right there, the way that everything's flowing. You know, I know that they flattened that others out and so forth.
Okay,
That's a good question,
You
Kyle.
want to take a look.
okay, I gotta go take a look.
When you're coming in the road, it's a section on your right,
Yep,
but it's.
yep, I'm very familiar where it is. I just need to, I'm just making, just as an observation, that's all.
Yeah, we talked
And
about that, we talked about that this morning also. But,
All right. It's easier to talk about it than to make a mistake and not and have a problem.
That's always not a problem.
Well, we don't need any more problems.
No more problems.
Especially over there. So Tom, I guess you got some homework.
Yeah.
Right, right. You got a little homework to do on that one.
I've done a lot of homework.
No, I know you have. I know you have, Tom. And you know, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I want to get the best, I want to get the best bang for our buck. And if that happens to be a refurb one, you know, and then each unit basically requires a 10x40 pad, right? An area,
Yeah.
right?
It's a little bit bigger, really.
But I mean, the requirement really probably is a 10x40.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make it a little larger so that you can get a snowplow down through the center when I talked to Joel this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at least be able to get the loader down, the backhoe down through there. Because that's what's probably gonna do a lot of the work up in that area. You can pick it up and throw it someplace.
Right, and that's fine.
I should what he does anyhow.
Right, but that's
Pile it
what,
up, then when he gets time, he just takes and loads it out.
right, okay. So we're good as far as that goes. I think Carl, I think you need to look at the site. You're familiar with what's going on there.
Yeah.
I'm not really familiar with that,
It's a
so,
long time since I had to go into my brain cells and figure that out.
but I think that's a good idea. So I think we're on the right page. I think we should put this on for,
Yeah.
add
When
this
you wanna stop over?
next week. Sarah, can we
Next
put-
week.
okay.
Saturday?
Yeah, if I get a chance, I'll swing in Saturday morning.
So we'll put this on the agenda for next week, because I don't, the concrete especially, I don't wanna hold back.
That'd be fine.
I don't wanna hold off for a long time, because we wanna.
No, well, we gotta get rolling with this.
Right.
Life gets in the way.
I will contact everybody,
Perfect.
with a,
Okay,
request for certified units with warranties and so forth.
Right, just see what it is. Maybe it's not the way to go. But let's see, let's just compare.
let's source some stuff closer to home.
Yep.
Well,
Whether it's
the manufacturers are pretty much out there.
I understand that, but the remanufacturers aren't.
All right, I think we're good.
All right.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Public comment. Any public comment, Hannah?
Jim's wait. Jim?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I didn't get a chance. I came up too fast. Hey guys, thank you very much. Jim Kosis, North Mason Hill Road. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. First of all, I just want to find out when they had the staff, announcements and stuff like that Joel, was talking about. Oh, no, Tom, I'm sorry. Nothing about you. I'm sorry. But, was the first motion that you guys made based on a bid, or was it based on a price difference or something? I was just a little confused, and I may have stepped away, so I just wasn't sure. The second item is, I just wanted to make sure, last meeting or a couple of meetings ago, there was an issue about the landfill, and that we do have a revolving loan. It was a surprise to me because it's just been such a long time that's been talked about, that I just wanted to make sure that we have some kind of forecast of what kind of schedule we have on if there is no reimbursement of 100% by the state, what are we doing as a town to make sure that we can take care of that line of credit expense? I mean, that is a huge amount. I do hope that the state will reimburse a lot. The second thing is, unfortunately, I didn't get a reply to a question I had on Oak Hill. I just wanted to find out if we officially own that property now. I know that in a reply email to me that the association did dissolve, and I was just very curious if whatever process was taken to take over that property, and whether a deed was transferred from the association, which was incorporated, to the town of Pownal before we do all of these expenses on it. And then the last question is, someone did ask me, I know that Bill did retire from being the janitor or handyman at the town office, but people are just curious if if it was announced, and maybe I missed it, announced of how long he will be off the select board, or if he is off it completely, or when he might be coming back to participate in the town decisions. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Thank you, Jim.
Was there anything there for me?
No.
No, nothing for you, Tom.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you. Everybody have a nice night.
You too, Tom. So Jim, I believe your question about the cemetery will be answered in an email. There's minutes of a meeting. I think Tara can probably direct you to that. As far as what's up with Bill, that's,
There was no announcement. He didn't miss an.
yeah, there isn't any announcement on that yet. He hasn't done anything with that at this time. So that's kind of it, to be honest with you, as far as, where we're gonna go with that public comment. And thank you for that. I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session. Oh, wait a minute, sorry. Is there any more public comment, Hannah?
No,
I apologize. I jumped the gun. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive for legal with emergency services, the fire departments and the rescue squad.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
There will be no action taken after.